We are here in PAX Rising as part of PAX Australia 2016, where indie developers from all over the country and the world converge to show to gamers their creations, their universes. And you know what? On that universe theme, let's talk about some of the games that go to space. First up, we have Ticket to Earth, which is a sci-fi isometric puzzle game, and then like to say XCOM meets Puzzle and Dragons, I suppose. You control your character on a tile-based environment, try and move them around and take out the enemies, all to meet certain objectives. However, to move around, you have to match tiles along a path, Puzzle and Dragon style. The mechanics just work really well together so that you do feel really good just moving around the environment, just powering up your character, and then just using your massive abilities every now and then. Like, it seems like the game has enough depth so that it would be able to spend hours diving into it, just trying to master every mechanic, but at the same time, it does seem simple enough so that it does suit its the mobile platform that it was shown off here, so that it could prove a little distraction on the train. But sometimes you may just miss a train stop or two playing this. Next up, we have Paradigm from space via Perth, via the 1990s, via Eastern Europe. The game is an adventure game in which you play as a failed genetic prodigy in a universe full of failed genetic prodigy. The game has a very harsh sort of style to it, kind of like say 90s claymation. Let's go with that. But it also has a very specific sense of humor. Like, it throws it from the outset with the sort of opening infomercial that sets up the game. And even in the tutorial, you have the option of being taught either by human or by real-life dog, which cuts to a 10-second FMV of a real-life dog just wondering what to do in front of a computer. The game goes on from there. It also promises to include all sorts of mini games, which incorporates like dating sim mechanics, JRPG mechanics. Like, it very much is just sort of a vehicle for the developers and their specific sense of humor. But you know what? I'm kind of into it. And finally, we go to the far, far away land of 1920s America with The American Dream by Samurai Punk, who developed previously Screen Cheat. This is a virtual reality sort of, it's called a tour of sorts of this sort of imagined world in the 1920s, where people are taught from the earliest of age of the benefits of the gun. So the demo had you from a baby being handed a gun and being taught the basics of arithmetic and what your favorite thing in the world is. Of course, it's a gun. The demo also had you working at a donut factory, shooting holes into the donuts with your good old-fashioned gun, which isn't a cult, you know, for copyright reasons. Just playing this game in virtual reality, it's easy just to lean into the doofiness, to just blap all the time, and just the reload mechanic of the game, slow motion as the clip just goes into the air and you have to sort of slide it in. Like, it leans hard into its tone of satire, but it's also like an interesting demo of what you can do with virtual reality and the storytelling that you can do within. That does it for this edition of the Indie Bundle. Of course, there are plenty of indie games worth checking out, and so do check out New Game Plus for more indie game coverage.